We have, in order to know this, Dr. Ajay Paul is joining us in order to give us a better sense of what this really means. Sir, thank you for speaking with us. Of course, it is very initial at the moment in order to know the extent of damage. But from what we're hearing and from the initial reports is that the damage as far as Japan is concerned has been less than what was initially forecast. Are we being given reasons to believe that due to the direction of the tsunami, Japan is less at risk than, say, other parts of the Pacific?
You see, as far as the damage is concerned, since the focus of the earthquake is in the bottom of the sea, in such a situation, and that to something like 100 kilometers from the coast, the vibrational damage on the land would be minimal. But due to the impact of this release of energy, what we call and this is a great earthquake, magnitude greater than 8. So the tsunami warning for Japan as well as Russia, and not only that, the impact of the high tides would be around, which we call the ring of fire, on the eastern coast. On the western coast of America also, and there might be some impact in the New Zealand and Australia, though there are no reports. But as far as your question is concerned, yes, it will have an impact more on the Japan side and lesser on the Russian side because of the slip motion of the fault. And since it might take some time to reach to the other part of the because half of the world is now covered with these two regions. Basically, there are two things. I mean, Alpine belt, as far as the India is concerned, and this is the Pacific belt, what we call as the Ring of Fire. So the reason is that half of the world is now being covered by this high seismic risk belt. It has to be that tsunami warning should be there for all the regions that are connected to this Ring of Fire. Now,
this is really bringing to mind the earthquake and tsunami resembling a historic incident that took place in 1952 in the similar region of Kamchatka in Russia's Far East that caused extensive damage and a tsunami. How long will these warnings be in place, particularly given the fact that, this is going all the way, we're talking about whether it's the United States and other areas, and it's not just Japan, but adjoining areas as well.
You see, if you remember the case of the 2004, when it was the Indonesian earthquake and it struck the Indian coast quite, it was something like 3 to 4 hours after the quake originated. So as far as Japan and Russia is concerned, it might take about 2 hours or 2.5 hours or maybe 3 to 4 hours, but it isn't the case. The tsunami generated that would affect on the other side of that means the western side of America. It'll take much longer time, but it might, because the depth of the ocean here is less. It may be something like 12 to 14 kilometers. So it will have an impact. It will take some time. Maybe it will take something like 10 hours or 12 hours that will reach the other coast of the America, and it might hit it. And not only that, the aftershocks of such a high magnitude earthquake, they could also generate tsunami as well, because it might be that something like greater than 7.5 earthquake might might occur as an aftershock. So as far as the tsunami warning is concerned, I think it will be something like 2 to 3 days that we have to see that what is the impact and how far is the impact and how long is the impact.
Right, tsunami warnings in place for Taiwan as well as Philippines, Japan, Russia. We're talking about, of course, like you mentioned, the United States as well. And it is the President of the United States who has put out that warning. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with us here on NDTV.